I want adventure in the great wide podcast. I wanted more than podcast. I loved your look.
You did not mention you would be doing that today.
I warned you in advance.
Yeah, but I was not ready for it to be okay.
You warned me not to. I'm like a cat who's like knocking stuff off the table, and
Pretty
then
much.
Their owner's like, Snowball, don't do that. And then they just do it anyway.
Exactly.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Disney Desk. I actually don't think we had that name until after our first episode.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like we just referred to it as like the Disney podcast or something.
I don't exactly remember, actually, because it was ages ago. When was it? April? Early April? Like early April that we...
Yeah. Probably
did the
April.
last podcast. Yeah, so I guess we have some explaining to do.
Yeah, we have some explaining to do.
I have some explaining to do. It's kind of like, well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's like my fault, but it kind of is my fault that we have not had time to record these. Well, Carter's been in school.
Yeah, which, crunch time at the end of the year is
right, and it was
tough.
spring. Yeah, so, and I've been sick as a dog, actually.
Yeah.
I got really sick.
Sydney's body essentially said, hey, hun, you know how you're fine?
This.
You're not okay.
You're not okay right now. Yeah, I quit. Actually, when we were recording the last podcast, I found out the next day that I had pink eye.
It was that soon?
Yeah, I went to the doctor the following day.
I remember you saying it bothered you.
Right, because I thought I was just like having another cold. Like during that whole month, I was like back-to-back illnesses. Like I had like a normal cold, and then I thought it was just coming back. And I remember like trying to like I had like a cough drop in my mouth, which you probably can't hear in like those recordings. But and then my eyes were like so irritated and runny and gross. And I'm surprised that you didn't get sick at all. Like, I'm surprised that didn't catch anything from me.
I don't think I did.
Because I really should not have been in public. And then the next day, they were like, yeah, you have pink eye. So then I had pink eye for like 2 weeks. And it was in both my eyes, too.
Yeah, it sounded and looked pretty bad.
It was terrible, yeah. And then I got better, and then I got the flu. Like, I got better,
Oh,
and then
I wasn't sure if it was mono or the flu.
No, then I caught the flu. So there was like a month of time where I was just like down for the count.
She was physically incapable of coming into New York City and recording.
Right.
We actually set up an appointment to do our second episode, and she messaged me like, I physically cannot do this.
It's just not, yeah.
And then, we just kept, we've been talking about ideas and brainstorming stuff, like, we got the Tumblr set up and had a lot of cool stuff on that.
Yeah.
But, we're back at it. It's the summer. We just bought a fancy new Snowball microphone. We're not sponsored, but, it's pretty cool.
But it's awesome. And we're trying to get as much done because I will be gone again. Because I'm having surgery tomorrow. Yeah, I'm pretty much a mess of a person. So we're trying to record, knock out a bunch of stuff so we can edit it together and put out a couple episodes.
Yeah, we're hoping to have 2, maybe 3 episodes ready.
Right.
Just in case.
Right, because literally tomorrow I am having surgery. I'm having my gallbladder taken out. Like, it's just, for me, it's one thing after another. Like, I'm just one of those people.
Yeah, but you're here right now, and we're going to power through.
Yes, no problem.
Well, how's your week been?
It's been fine. It's been good. I just, like, doctor's appointment after doctor's appointment, getting ready for, preparing for the surgery and cleaning up and, trying to, get everything in order before I'm, like, bedridden for who knows how long.
Yeah. I went to Six Flags yesterday, kind of lost my voice, but that's probably for the best, so I won't just be constantly talking over Sydney.
It's okay.
I did a podcast with my brother the other day, and he was like, Carter, you're screaming. And I'm like, no, I just project. I have a loud voice.
Yeah, you do have like a very
I've been doing
powerful.
this for like 10 years.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but we got a couple fun ideas to talk about, a couple topics, a couple long overdue discussions to have.
Yep.
And we're just going to go at it. We're going to take a quick interlude, and then we're going to get right into it.
Yes.
Okay, now we have a topic that we've been long overdue to cover. We were even hinting at this in our first episode. The live-action remake of Beauty and the Beast.
Right. So in our last podcast, it was about to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were like a couple days away from its opening weekend.
Yeah, and I actually only ended up seeing it in May with you.
Right.
Like, it was one of the last screenings at our local theater.
Yeah, I saw it pretty like soon after it came out. My mom and I went out to see it, and then I saw it a second time with you.
Yeah.
And then we got it on DVD as soon as it came out.
You got it on
love
DVD?
it so much. Yeah.
Nice. We should note it ended up getting fairly positive reviews, around a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty solid. It's higher than Maleficent. It's a little lower than Cinderella, but it's up there.
Right.
In terms of domestic and worldwide box office gross, it ended up becoming the 10th highest grossing film in history, only just behind Frozen, oddly enough. And speaking of which, looking at this list, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of the top 10 grossing films of all time now are owned by Disney.
Wow.
Good God. But, yeah, so we both, we both saw it. I think we both like it. I'm probably a little more on the negative side than you, but...
Yeah.
So...
I dig it.
Yeah. What do you think?
I really appreciated it, and the things that you had to say about it, like I feel like I agreed with all the things that you said about it, which you'll get to. But for the most part, it pretty much ticked off the stuff that I was looking for in it. I thought it was. I thought it really truly encompassed like what Disney magic is about, and like for me,
I would concede that. Yeah.
For me, like Disney magic are things that are like, this doesn't totally make sense. This isn't totally realistic, but I don't feel the need to ask any questions about it. So it's like, I mean, the colors are super bright and vibrant, and it was just like, I felt like every minute of this film was just like, it feels magical, and I don't like know how to say that without sounding
It's hard to
cheesy.
quantify it because well, then again, if people could quantify it, it would be more than just Disney doing this.
Right, exactly. But it's just like every bit of it, like I don't know. It almost makes you feel like it's the kind of feeling you get from almost being in Disney World, where like you actually feel like you're in an entirely different like dimension of reality. Yeah. I don't know, but like in just watching the film, like you can feel that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would concede that. I think that's a fair. I think that's a fair point to make in favor of the film.
Right.
And honestly, not even just the Disney animated films. I think Disney's entire like empire now with Star Wars and Marvel. I think they've all hit this sweet spot with the magic you're talking about, where just the love of the characters and the environments and the pageantry and mythos of the films can overcome a lot of their shortcomings.
Exactly.
Because even as a Marvel fanboy, I can admit there's a lot of problems with a lot of those films, and yet just the character moments and like the sweeping scope of them overcomes that.
Right.
Yeah, I ended up liking the film, but my biggest problem with it, and this is something you and I talked about in the theater, is I've been really into these live action remakes. I think each of them has a very set mission and carries that mission out really well. Maleficent was this attempt to make a Wicked-style, pseudo-feminist take on one of their most iconic characters.
Right.
Cinderella was this attempt to slightly modernize, but keep this very traditional, old-school fairy tale thing. So when you see it, you're just like, man, they don't make them like that anymore.
Right, exactly, yeah.
And Jungle Book was an attempt to sort of take the bits and pieces people love of the original animated one, work them into the really cool sort of animal jungle mythos of the original Kipling books, and make something functional and adventurous. And I think all of them really succeeded with that. This one, for me, I guess I always ask myself, what is this film for or about? Who are we aiming it at? Who is it made for? What is it, other than making money and winning awards, what are we trying to achieve with this?
Right.
And with Beauty and the Beast, this is the first time I felt like we're making this for Disney fans. This is kind of a fan film.
Yeah.
People who love the original making a remake of that, not a beat for beat remake, that's unfair, but a very faithful adaptation of that for fans of the original.
Right.
And in many ways, that's great.
Yeah.
Like, the art direction, the loving attention given to the art direction, the reverence given to all of the music, like the little, recreating all of those classic moments with that feel fresh but still feel familiar to the original.
Yeah.
What was I about to say? Even just addressing some of the little like niggling plot holes, like how does time work in this reality? Why does no one seem to notice that even though they're like, a French province, why have they not noticed that their monarch is missing? Like little things like that are great. But like but it struggles in the moment to moment when it's a fan film. The example I used with you, I think, was when Belle's dad first comes to the castle. I will say, though, I love Belle's dad in this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember him that well in the animated one. I haven't watched in a while. But in this one, he's such an awesome character.
He really is interesting,
He's really likable.
Funny,
he's likable, he's funny, he's
and he
charming.
feels like a dad. Like, he almost feels like your dad.
He feels very human.
Right,
He feels incredibly human in a film with a lot of magic, and that's important.
Yeah.
And I actually really like the song they gave him. It's nice, sweet, and simple.
And Celine Dion does it beautifully at the end. It's one of my favorite like celebrity renditions of a Disney song, because they asked her to come back for this. And she sang Beauty and the Beast in the animated Beauty and the Beast. Oh my god, I'm obsessed with her song. Yeah,
which is weird because my old roommate actually just texted me, "Is Celine Dion any good?" And I'm like, I do not know enough of her discography to comment either way.
He asked you if Celine Dion is.
I don't even know what prompted that.
Like, what does he mean by is she any good?
I don't know. That's just the way he talks.
She's Celine Dion.
Like,
is he saying like in context of this movie, or just like is like?
I think it was completely unrelated to this movie.
Is he asking like she's a restaurant? Like, is Bonefish Grill any good? Like,
I think that. But
what is Celine Dion?
I don't know.
Oh my god. Okay. Anyway, what were we talking about?
So Belle's dad comes to the castle, and the build up to that's really cool because it's like, ooh, mysterious. Yeah. And there's this incredible shot where he's walking and the camera's following him, and you see the back of a candle and a clock. And then you hear these voices where it's like, oh, who is that? Oh my gosh.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And he turns and they're just a regular clock and candle. Then he walks away, but then they cut back to the candle and the clock, and we see their faces.
Right.
And I'm like,
you did mention this before.
No, because they were setting up this awesome build-up of like, he keeps thinking weird stuff is happening. He keeps noticing like little like, he keeps noticing noises or things moving like they shouldn't.
Right.
Building up to that moment where Chip just slides across the table and goes, "My mom told me not to talk to you in case you freaked out." And then he runs out. And but you undercut that by showing Lumiere and Cogsworth already talking.
Right.
And in my head I was trying to figure out, why would they do this? And then it made perfect sense when you're thinking they're not approaching this film like, we are making this for people who didn't see any version of Beauty and the Beast. Well, I guess the Disney. I don't think any other versions have talking candles.
Yeah.
The Jean Cocteau one has like moving stuff, but nothing that talks.
Right.
I think that part of me wonders if that's where they got the idea to have Lumiere. But they approached it as, well, everyone who's seeing this already knows there's talking candles and stuff. So we don't need to build that up.
Right.
And that disappoints me because every now and then you have this really great moment that's undercut by, oh, we already know what's
these people
about to happen.
Right, exactly.
So we might as well just...
We know what's in the house already. Like, we already know the characters in this castle. We don't...
Yeah. Although, even then, like, the one time they don't do that was really good was when Beast gets shot at the end. Like, also... Holy cow, that entire sequence, like, they really ramped that up. He's not just getting, like, punched or stabbed.
No,
he's getting shot with a gun. In the back. With an actual gun.
Right, yeah. He's just firing shots at him, like from a close distance. Like, he's just shooting him.
Yeah, but I will say, that's the one thing that undercuts it for me. I wish they approached it more as... We need to pretend no one's ever seen this. This is the first time Disney's doing this. And yes, we're taking from the original, but we're going to treat it with the same freshness and energy that, they gave it the same amount of love. That's sure. And they gave it the same amount of care. But the same, like, we need to do something no one's ever seen before. Didn't quite feel like it was there. And I guess that kind of disappoints me, because with all of these other live-action films... That has been the case. I feel like I'm seeing this story by Disney for the first time.
Yeah.
Even though I know that's not true.
Yeah.
Because I've seen those films 100 times.
Right.
Jungle Book was one of my favorite films, and yet when I'm watching it, it feels completely new.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, there are moments in that film that actually got me, like, seriously emotional.
Right.
Like, when, you know, there's that scene where the elephants are marching through, and it's like, bow your head, it's a sign of respect. And they're just talking about this mythos, where I'm like, this is extraordinary. This is something I haven't seen before. Mm-hmm. And, well, there's a lot of incredible moments in Beauty and the Beast. I never quite got that feeling.
Yeah.
The closest I got was when we see what happened maybe to Belle's mom. Honestly, that's the only... some of the interactions with her dad.
For me, I get that feeling a lot when I examine the diversity that they included.
I will say that's a
movie,
huge plus.
because it's just not the way it would have ever been.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? For that,
I will say that made me happy that they're like,
Right.
no, we need to, you know...
Right, that they made it as diverse as they possibly, like, could, and there were no questions about it. And the way they, like, presented all these people of color throughout the whole film, I was just like... You
It's
get
just
the
the way it
impression that
is.
they belong there,
Yeah.
not just that, like, hey, like, we're including these people because we want some kind of...
Yeah.
Like, we want
We don't
credit
want a medal.
for having a black person. Yeah, like, these people are part of the society. Like, when, what's her name? So when they're all turning back human...
Yeah.
What's her name? What's the name of the feather duster? What is her name?
Oh, I always just refer to them by whatever object
Whatever object they are, yeah.
Which I know doesn't help this
I
conversation.
forget what her
but-
name is, but, like, when she turns back... yeah, we'll have to look that up. Like, anyway, when they're, like, turning back into...
Yeah, because they give you
objects.
no implication that she's a person of color.
Exactly.
Before that,
Not
and then
not
it just
any
is.
of them except
Yeah.
for like the singing what is she, like a cadenza? What is
Yeah.
she? She's like a wardrobe.
Yeah,
She like we understand that she's the opera singer from Foreign when we saw in the beginning that
we see
she's
her
black.
at the beginning.
But like one of my favorite moments in the whole movie, and I don't know why I love it so much, is when like they're turning back into the objects, and like I think Lumiere and Cogsworth have already turned back into people, and it's like all you see is this like rustle of feathers, and then you just see this pretty brown hand like emerge from, and it's like you would have, like I think in our like Euronormative society, like we want these people in our mind, since we have no like cues on what their voices sound like, that they could be people of color.
Yeah.
So that's kind of shocking to
Yeah.
see that, like, oh, she's
Like,
black.
Yeah,
Like,
for all my cynicism about this film aside, the idea that there might be like a young black girl
Right.
growing up, seeing this film and seeing
Yeah.
that moment and
Right.
just getting stars in her eyes
Exactly.
makes me really happy
Right.
about the future.
and then like after everyone comes out and there's all these interracial relationships, and then you're like at first it's shocking, and then you're like, oh well, like this isn't abnormal at all.
Yeah,
this is totally normal.
Yeah.
Like this is
Like, yeah.
reality.
Well, that's what I
actually.
liked about... I saw Spider-Man Homecoming recently, and I liked about that, too. It's like, you know, a lot of people in the press have made a big deal about the fact that this is a super diverse cast. Like,
Mm-hmm.
to the fact where Peter Parker looks like the only white person in this entire school. And it's like, no, the film doesn't draw any attention to it. It's Queens in 2017. Of
Exactly.
course.
Yeah, that's
And,
what it is.
Yeah, again, despite my cynicism, I'm glad that they've looked at this opportunity of, like...
Right.
It is, you know, Disney's had a questionable track record on these things.
Right.
You know, sometimes they've tried their best and failed. Sometimes they've not tried their best and also failed.
Right.
But a genuine effort to do this, I really,
Right.
really appreciate. Oh,
But,
and
like,
also,
okay,
I was
yeah.
just going to say, her name real quick is Plumette. It's always a pun. I should have
okay.
just started thinking of what like a
Yeah.
feather duster could be.
Okay, right.
It's
Now I understand.
just assume it's a pun.
But I mean, like for me, like like the Disney magic, like for me, that diversity is part of
It
the
makes it-
magic
yeah.
because it makes sense for 2017, but it
Yeah.
does not make sense. They would have all been slaves back then, so it's
Yeah.
like it doesn't make sense for them to be a part of society. Yet here they are.
Wait,
Here's black
yeah,
children
France
running
still had
around
slaves
in the
back then.
schools or whatever. And it's just normal. Don't ask questions about it. This is the way it is. Like, no,
Yeah.
this is our fantasy world where everyone's
Yeah.
here together and it's fine.
They've realized Disney magic is for everybody.
Exactly.
And I guess that was always implicit, but
Right.
never shown.
Right.
Like, Disney magic's for everyone, but we're not gonna have a black princess until 2008.
2008.
Was it 2008?
It was
God,
2008.
It was that long ago? Jesus Christmas.
Yeah, because I remember it was on the cusp of the Obama administration. Like, I remember it was around the beginning of Obama,
Yeah.
too.
God, I wish I followed the news, because I imagine people were so salty about that, not realizing that they've been making this film. They make these films for like 7 years,
right?
You know, before the idea of Barack Obama running for president.
They're like, oh, black president, let's make a movie right now. Put it out.
That's not how it works.
Get it out there.
And it was hand drawn, so it took even longer.
Exactly right. That movie was so special. I saw that movie with my grandparents.
Yeah.
Actually, who like grew up in the South in the 30s. Like, I don't know if they ever would have imagined that they would ever live to see anything like A, a black president, B, a black Disney princess. Like those
we do. I think
are fiction.
I feel like we need to have an episode just where we gush about Princess and the Frog.
That alone,
Yeah, I would be so down for that.
Mm-hmm.
Although speaking of the characters, you know who ended up being my favorite character in this entire thing? Who I was really worried about coming in?
Who?
Gaston.
Really?
Because coming in, I was worried they were going to do way too much to try to sympathize him or give him this, I don't know.
They were going to Maleficent him.
Yeah, they were going to Maleficent him.
He was a good guy,
for
but
Maleficent,
then he had
that's
trauma.
fine.
Right.
But for Gaston, like,
no, he's
his whole arc, his whole, like, concept is we're going to take a stereotypical Disney hero and subvert that by, like, no, this guy's actually weird and stalkery and possessive and crazy and violent and dangerous to be around.
Right.
And they do that maybe a little bit because they explained that he was like a war hero or like, you know, he was a veteran of some kind of conflict.
Right.
Which, you know, it's 1700s France, you know, there's you can pick like 10 dozen. That's why they ran out of money and the French Revolution started.
Right.
But French history lessons with Carter and Sydney. But even that I think is fine because it establishes, again, his character is built around traditional he's built around the idea of traditionally masculine, hulking, violent, I'm going to go fight, I'm going to go hunt, I'm going to go kill.
Right.
And now that all of the wars are over, he has nothing.
Right.
And which normally would be like, well, that's fine. I'm going to pick whichever wife I want and live my life, just live on the frontier as a hunter. And that those pieces aren't falling in place for him is making him progressively crazier and more violent until B shows up and he's like, finally, my conflict.
Right, only something to kill.
Yeah. And even though, and we'll get to this in a second, I guess, and even though I don't love this version of the Beast, I do like that they make them like sort of opposites in terms of like he's learned and he's like, he doesn't want to be violent. It's just, circumstances made him that way.
Exactly.
And also, I don't know, also adding the backstory of the war also makes his relationship with LeFou make so much more sense.
Right.
And, there's a lot of talk about LeFou being the first gay Disney character. But more than that, I think it's just hero worship. He's seeing this guy who's like, this champion for France, and he wants to spend time with me. Oh my god!
Exactly.
Yeah, and I don't know. What do you think of LeFou in this film?
I adore him. Actually,
yeah, he's actually one of the most likable characters in the entire film.
Right? Yeah, he is like the perfect amount of like. There's like a level of innocence about him, and and I totally understand like the hero worship thing because he gets let down, which I feel like a lot of people
genuinely thinks like
they say like don't meet your hero like because like they may be a dickhead, they may be a jerk, like
that's his whole arc.
He experiences that like really like in the middle of a war, like in
there's
the middle
this incredible moment
there's
this incredible moment where he's getting like he's being held down by something and he's
by
yelling
a piano.
I am disappointed. I am disappointed they didn't do that. There's that scene in the original where the wardrobe just annihilates someone, and I know they couldn't do that because we're like playing with slightly more realistic physics, but still. But yeah, he's getting crushed by a piano and he's calling for help, and Gaston says something like, "Sorry, it's hero time." And he's just like, what?
Something like that.
And then he ends up saying,
and then the piano's like, ooh, ouch. Like, even the piano is like, damn.
Yeah, they're just giving him dating advice during the fight.
Yeah, no, exactly. And Mrs. Potts is like, he doesn't deserve you anyway.
Yeah.
And then he just switches sides and he's like, okay, well.
I was so worried about LeFou and Gaston as like a duo in this because I was like, oh god, how are they going to approach this?
Right.
And I feel like they handled them really well. And also, they're easily the two best singers in the entire thing.
And I think they gave him the best lines. Like, they gave him the best jokes. They really did.
And Yeah, and with LeFou, they did a lot. They did a lot in terms of modernizing it. Like, they gave him a lot of lines that's like, yeah, they wouldn't have said this in 1990. But in this, like, in the sort of pseudo-modernist fantasy that Disney does a lot of now with, like, Moana and Frozen and Tangled, he helps, like, realize that. Because he has that moment with the three ladies where it's like, it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen, ladies. Yeah,
Stuff
exactly.
like that doesn't distract, and I don't think it necessarily dates.
Right.
But makes it feel fresher. I'm still, my jaw's on the floor of how good a singer Luke Evans as Gaston was. Because I've only seen him in The Hobbit, which he's cool.
Yeah.
That, he's more the stereotypical, like, dashing hero. He's like this man of the river. His dad was a hero who failed to kill a dragon.
Right,
and he sort of ends up doing it. The Hobbit movie, God, we could talk for 10 hours about the Hobbit movies. But,
I've never seen those.
Really?
Yeah.
Me and my brother have a complicated relationship when it comes to, those films, I'll just say.
Okay.
We're on other sides of the spectrum. But the point being, like, he has that one belt moment when he's like, I ate 4 dozen eggs and now I'm roughly the size of a barge. And I'm like, wow, he has got a voice.
You're a singer, yeah.
And also, that song is the best in terms of realizing I don't know, something about the kinetic nature of this film I really like. Everything feels like it has weight to it.
Right.
Like, they're dancing on tables to the music.
Yeah.
Or no one's neck is incredibly thick as Gaston, you hear that crack.
Right.
Like, they add a physicality to everything that I really like.
Right. So it's not just like human adults playing a cartoon.
Yeah.
Like, it's real life.
Well, yeah, even on that note, I will say one of the... Sorry, I had to get some water. One of the weaknesses I've always thought of, some of the Disney animated films, is at times the sound direction disappoints me.
Really?
Like, not the music, not the voice acting. They're both great. They're always great. But, like, sometimes I feel like they could get a little more adventurous with, like, the environmental sounds. Like with hits or roars or magic sounds. This has the opposite problem. This is very good with that.
Okay.
Which, another example of, we have more time and resources to make this. We have a blank check to do this.
Right.
We know it's going to make $1 billion, so we can spend as much money as we want on this and release it. So it's clear they're like, let's really make each part of this as great as we can.
Okay, so Emma Watson.
Fine.
You think so? I'm also fine with it. I'm not like 100%.
I mean, she's Hermione Granger, and Belle's kind of Hermione Granger.
I don't know. I didn't view her as a Hermione Granger-esque, and I hope that people don't view her that way. Like, as far as like her career. I mean, I would just hate to think that.
Well, I just mean in terms of the character she played.
I think I know what you mean. Right.
Yeah, I don't mean that's her only role she can play. She has more. She's a much better actress than that.
So I think she was absolutely the best choice for Belle.
Yeah.
And I think
as an actor, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, like, I guess I agree with you. Yeah, she is just, Hermione Granger. Like, she really is.
Yeah.
She's just this, like, very powerful, headstrong, and super smart, and she's gonna do what she wants, and nothing is impossible. Like, she's gonna jump out of this castle window. Like,
yeah.
Like, she's just gonna go
addition.
do it. Right.
Plus, I don't know. It also helps address the Stockholm Syndrome thing. And, like, I've never bought into that because, she always stands up to the beast.
Right,
and
yeah.
Any opportunity she's given to leave, she does. But I think they even address that even more here, just to be like, all right, guys, enough. The meme is dead.
Right.
The meme has been dead for 10 years and no one wanted to admit it. Its corpse is getting gross, and now there's flies.
Okay, but the one thing that I do not like about her is her singing voice.
Yeah, it's very clear they had to use some auto-tune.
It sounds like fake. It sounds fake at some points. And I mean, like, there are some parts of the song okay, so, like, her, I don't know how to explain it. It's not that she's really a bad singer. It's just clear that she's not a singer. And even furthermore, she's not a Disney singer.
Yeah. It's very clear she's an actress before she's a singer.
Right, exactly. And, like, one thing that I guess that I want to stay forever and ever is, like, the classic Disney princess voice. Yeah. Even though there have been different voices.
There's been different styles.
There's been different styles and, like, different, like, cultural references and in the music. from like movie to movie, I'm thinking about like what Mulan's voice was like, and what Tiana's voice is. Tiana's voice is like jazzy, but
just
they're all Broadway belters. Like they all have these these really pretty
Disney Renaissance and on. They're all Broadway.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they're all Broadway, and I really want that. And
and she isn't that.
But that's not her fault. And I think that Belle has some of the most beautiful. She has one of the most beautiful songs, the most beautiful I Want Stuff songs, as you put it, the Disney I Want Stuff song. She has one of the best songs that there is, and it's meant to be...
That's one of the reasons she's the most iconic Disney princess of them all.
And I just feel like her song was meant to be done with power.
It sounded sweet, not powerful.
And it was done so softly, like just because I don't think Emma Watson could sing it, and I don't think that they could edit her enough to the point where it sounds just blatantly fake. Yeah. Because it was really teetering. It does sound fake. Like there are parts of it where you're like, ooh, that's not your voice.
See, that's also the problem you run into with Dan Stevens also as Beast, where it's very clear they're actors before singers. Yeah. And B, they can't get away with singing in character. Because Emma Thompson sings in character as Mrs. Potts. Mm-hmm. Ewan McGregor sings as Lumiere. Yeah. So the fact that they're not perfect singers is covered up by the fact that it's like, oh, it's in character, it's cute.
Right, yeah.
Where you can't hide behind that when you're just singing. Right. And I think what you're bringing up raises an interesting question, and this sort of came up with me in La La Land too, where you have Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, who are both very great actors. Yeah. But their singing voices are...
you can sing, but
you can. In the same sense, where we're running into this problem with musicals of, like, because we've kind of gotten past the age of, the golden age of Hollywood, where everyone can act, sing, dance. You know, everyone used to be a triple threat. Right. And now we're in a much more specialized time where, you can act.
Are you an iconic face? Are you an iconic name of a person? Yeah. And then we'll teach you how to do
Are you a good actor? And we'll try our best to teach you the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess the problem we run into with musicals is... Do we cast lesser known stars who we know can sing every note perfectly and are exactly what we want vocally? Yes. But I guess
they should.
I don't know.
Ali Carvalho. Who else? Well, so many.
Well, that's the thing, and that because they were like, all right, we're not going to pick a celebrity for this. We are going to just search across the country to find a 16-year-old who can do this for us.
And they did.
And they, and I don't, And she was a really good actress in that too. And I don't know how much of that was directing and how much of that was her, but they made it work.
I don't know. But I don't know, like if you ever like watch interviews with her in person, she's kind of the same person. Like she sort of is Moana, like at her
Yeah. And that that's why I'm feeling a little better about Aladdin, because their mission statement was find relatively unknown people, and they will become stars through this. Right. B, they need to be able to sing. Yes. And C, they need to be able to dance. Right. So I'm like, I'm gonna trust that they're gonna be pretty good singers. Right. Yeah. And we'll get to that once we talk about D23. Exactly. But which. Her and Dan Stevens, unfortunately, were the two weakest singers because everyone else is pretty good. Like I said, they're either in character or they're opera singers, so they sound great.
Can we talk about Emma Thompson? Yeah. She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Like, she can sing well and in character. Right. She's
And I guess, it surprises me about her just because, my mom is a huge Nanny McPhee fan. And I feel like 80...
What?
I know, you've never heard anyone say that. No, she loves the Nanny McPhee franchise.
That phrase has never been uttered
Never,
before.
No one has ever said that, but that's my mom. I don't know why she likes
good for
stuff
her.
like that.
Everyone needs their own thing.
Right, but she loves Nanny McPhee, so it's 80% of the times that my eyes have viewed Emma Thompson, it's been a Nanny McPhee
as
character.
This
so when she emerges as... Oh my gosh, wait, that's the other thing that we need to talk about. We need to talk about how depressing this movie is. Remember when we were talking about it in the theater?
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Oh my gosh, I just remembered how depressing that was. Yeah. Can we talk about that now? Or what did you want to say something?
You can finish your thought on Emma Thompson.
That was it. Well, because now I am talking about Emma Thompson.
Yeah. Well, I guess I was going to go into that, and just in terms of the music, what was your favorite song? And did you like any of the new songs?
I think, I don't even know what the song is called. The Celine Dion one, where the
one where he's just sitting and he's making the music box. Yeah, I thought that was beautiful.
I think it's called Last Forever. How Does a Moment Last Forever? Something like that. Yeah.
And despite the negativity, I actually like Evermore. The song Beast sings when she leaves.
Yeah.
I mean, a part of me, I don't know, I know I'm creating the problem by constantly comparing it to the animated one.
Yeah.
But when she's leaving, he just lets out this bellowing roar that I'm like, oh man, he's really upset. I kind of wish they figured out a way to still incorporate that, but I thought the song was good. I think the Josh Groban recording is much better, but, that's neither here nor there.
Right.
But also, Josh Groban, he's a handsome guy, but he's not, you're not going to get him to act. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're not going to get him to act except he was in the Muppet movie.
Yeah.
He's in Muppets too.
And he's a pretty good actor in
He's
Great
just
Comet.
good for funny cameos. Like,
yeah.
And I think that's all he needs to do for the rest of his life.
He's the leading man in Great Comet, but Pierre as a character is barely in, he's a background character for most of it until the end.
Right.
Like, it's more Natasha's story. Uh-huh. And, he's just interjecting. But
yeah, it's just called How Does the Moment Last?
Yeah.
That's all.
And so do you want to get into how depressing this film is? And this is the one
the depressing moments of this movie, yeah.
This is one example of them, like, this is what I meant when I wanted to see things I haven't seen before.
Right.
So
the one thing that I brought up, and this was when we, the last time when we saw this movie together, we, sat in the theater for, I don't know how long.
Yeah, throughout the credits.
Just,
the
talking.
credits were gorgeous.
That's another thing I want to talk about. How, I could watch the ending credits on a loop for an hour.
The song is gorgeous.
It's its
They're
own
visually
movie,
poppy.
it feels like. And then it almost makes me want to cry when you see all of these characters then the people who play them
that was
ugh. But
I wish they did that in Jungle Book where they showed the actual actors.
That would have been cool.
But that would have been.
Jungle Book had a cool credit sequence too.
No, they were gorgeous too.
Yeah.
And I also feel like that would have broken the illusion of wait a minute, these are actors.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But anyway, the one moment that stands out to me that is ingrained in my head as the saddest part of this whole movie is so after Beast is killed.
Beast is killed.
And they're all
going to hell.
slowly turning back into household antiques, as they put it. And it's Mrs. Potts is
looking for her
she's
kid.
Anybody seen my son? Yeah, so she's frantically looking for Chip. I don't even know. He doesn't come out in the scene until a couple minutes later.
Ewan McGregor, Lumiere's holding his girlfriend in his
who
arms
has
as
turned
she dies.
into right, exactly. And then he's it's been a pleasure working with you.
Yeah, there's just this
friend.
sad moment where these two guys who've been at each other's throats this entire movie are just
we're
I love
partners
you, man.
and I love you. Yeah, but it just kills me to think about that. This woman has doesn't know where her child is and have to die with the thought that she
didn't get to say goodbye
has
to
never
her
found
son.
him. She doesn't know where he is at all.
Yeah.
And and he doesn't know where she is either because she comes out and he's mom. And then who catches him? I think
he lands on the sofa thing.
And then somebody puts, I think it's the piano or no, it was the coat rack.
Oh yeah.
It was there's this coat hanger thing that leans down and catches Chip because he's about to break into pieces. He's falling to the ground as an actual cup now. He's an actual ceramic teacup. And he gets caught and placed down, and it just breaks my heart just to think that oh my gosh, this child doesn't know where his mom is, and this woman doesn't know where her child is, and they will never the assumption is they will never ever know again. They have to die.
They literally
with
are
the
going to
that they're missing.
just go into a void,
right?
And that again, and I still like this film, but that's one moment I wish there was more of, where it's let's really think about the implications of all of this. Let's think about originally Emma Watson was going to be in a adaptation of Beauty and the Beast made by Warner Brothers with Guillermo del Toro as director. And that's the first moment, and I was super excited for that, because I'm Guillermo del Toro is the perfect guy to do talking candles and gothic castles and stuff.
Right.
This was the one moment where I'm that vision still got to exist. Yeah. When we're having this body horror moment of these people getting frozen into place as household objects for all of eternity. And they can't die, they're objects. They're not gonna die.
Right, yeah.
The implications of that are horrifying.
Right.
And that, and the moment when you realize that everyone's memories of this castle have been rubbed away. That moment, they set it up in the beginning of the film where it's oh, Mr. Potts, how are you doing? It's I think I forgot something, but I can't remember what it is.
Right.
And then Mrs. Potts is swinging around on the chandelier and sees him and just goes what?
Yeah.
And just oh my God, that's a moment I literally almost went oh my God, that's horrifying.
Right, yeah.
All of these people are just gone.
Yeah.
They didn't even have funerals for them because they don't remember they existed.
Exactly, right.
That's little moments like that, I'm that is what ends up pushing this into a pretty good film for me. because they looked at the material and like, how can we elevate this?
Right.
With like 20 extra years of perspective, what can we bring to this?
Jeez.
Although, I guess on that note, one big change that disappointed me is you set up this great moment where you have this book that teleports, which I think they might have... There's a similar moment in the Jean Cocteau version, which was that the 30s or the 40s? It's very early cinema, like silent, like... They have talking, but, very little. Okay. It's a beautiful film. It's really cool. They have this moment where where it's a mirror that teleports people. In this, it's a book. And he's like, this is the cruelest thing because, I could go anywhere I want, but I can't because I'm a monster.
Right.
I was hoping that was going to be a setup to them, like, traveling the world together. Because they set up this interesting connection where they're both, like, learned and, like, they love exploring. And that ties into Belle's theme, too, of wanting to go everywhere.
It almost, I don't know why, I kind of feel like they were on a date. Like, because he was literally like, where you want to go? And he was like, should we go to Paris? Like, he was like, let's see, like, the Louvre.
He was setting it up as a date, and she wanted to just see her dead mom.
And she was like, yeah, I'm going to go to this little shack. And he's like, what are we doing here? Like, just follow me.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I wish they did more with that.
Yeah.
That's, honestly, in terms of... Also, I don't know. And again, I know I keep harping on the Jean Cocteau one, but that is, like, in terms of... I've seen, like, 4 adaptations of Beauty and the Beast, and I really like the Jean Cocteau one. They have a moment where the, like, enchantress, like, the Gaston sort of surrogate gets turned into a beast at the end.
Okay.
Because he tries to break into, like, this place where the enchantress is.
Yeah.
And she turns him into a beast, and Beast gets to turn into a man. I thought they were going to set up something like that, because they have the enchantress just walking around.
Right, yeah.
But, no, I think it's probably for the best they didn't do that. And I guess if I'm going to harp on negatives one more time, real quick, I'm not a fan of how the Beast looks.
Really? Oh, you've mentioned that.
Yeah, I've seen, I've seen like 4 or 5 adaptations of this story, and the only one that I think really does the Beast well, whether it's prosthetic or drawing or CGI, is the Disney hand-drawn animated one.
Really?
Because it lets you cheat. Because in our head, as long as we see, like, his face, it's like, oh, that's Beast. So you can cheat the height, you can cheat the size, you can cheat the proportions. Right. And it makes him look like this really cool creature, because sometimes he's walking like a man, sometimes he's like a wolf, sometimes he's like a boar. Yeah. It just felt kind of, like, I don't know. I think this was screaming for, like, an Andy Serkis-esque, like, super intense mocap session. Yeah. And they did CGI, and the CGI looks fine. I just feel like they could have pushed it more. They had the money to do it. I just wish they did.
So are you thinking they made him look like just a hairy man?
Yeah, they just made him look like a hairy dude. And I understand, like, I don't know. Which was a problem during, like, the fight scenes where he's, like, fighting the wolves, because I'm like, I'm not believing... Like, in the animated version, this is the most intense shit around. Right. Whereas in this, I'm like...
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or like you have this awesome moment where he's like crawling around this scaffolding around the roses while he's watching Maurice. And I'm like, this is so cool. Like, he's crawling around. You could have done so much more like that. Right. But yeah, again, minor nitpicks. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we both love the film.
Right, so in general. Yeah. We would give it a thumbs up.
I'd give it a thumbs up.
2 thumbs up, both of our thumbs.
I'm pretty proud of, again, I hope this doesn't become a trendsetter in terms of all of these live-action remakes are just going to be beat-for-beat remakes of the original. Yeah. I hope we see more like Jungle Book, where it's like, we're going to really rethink this. Okay. Based on what I've heard about Dumbo, that's what they're going with for Dumbo, I completely forgot about Dumbo. Yeah, they're still working through some things. It sounds like Aladdin's going to be more on the Beauty and the Beast side, which, you know what, if you just want to do, like, those Disney Renaissance, the Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and... What was the other one? No. The other big musical. Lion King. I guess Lion King?
I had it written down. Let me go back to it. Because I actually have a list.
Because if you want to make them... Yeah. If you want to make all of those just, like, beat-for-beat remakes because the songs are iconic and the moments are iconic, fine, I guess. But don't do that for all of it. Like, make Mulan something
Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast,
Aladdin, that was
Pocahontas.
The 4 bunch.
Okay. Hercules, Hunchback, Mulan, Tarzan, Fantasia.
And for the love of God, don't remake Pocahontas.
No, you'll do it wrong. Don't do it. I
don't trust them not to do it.
You can't do it. You just can, okay?
Okay. But, yeah, again, and, like, there's a lot I love. I love the art direction. I love how all the objects are designed because they really look like the objects as opposed to just humanoid figures. Yeah. The music's good. And, yeah, again, it's like, it's hard to be negative because, damn, that Disney magic, it gets you. Yeah.
You know what's like one weird part to me that like made me feel like, oh my god, this is magic, and like this is such a like I don't know why this stood out to me. Gaston's red coat.
Yeah, when he like gets his full, he becomes. It's like he's transforming
Right.
into the iconic
So like during
character.
the song, yeah, like during like
Yeah.
this song, like inside, like not even like just like when there's
Yeah.
outside, like inside this building, like with like the
Yeah,
lighting,
they're
with
at
the
the
candle
bar,
lit.
and it's like
His jacket is such a vibrant, like rich shade. Like
Yeah.
if there's a color red that
Because-
I could name
yeah.
Gaston, it would be
That
that color, that shade of red. Like that
Because
that
the
should
rest
be
of the
called
film,
Gaston.
because the rest of the film, a lot of the costume designing is more grounded. Like they're
It
trying to make it
is.
feel like period authentic.
Right.
But when he gets that moment, I'm like, this is a Disney
This
film.
is a Disney
and
movie.
he does that
exactly.
pose,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm like, there we go.
Right.
There it is.
it is.
Yeah. And for me, I guess that moment would be when Maurice is just playing that little music box.
And
I'm just
yeah,
like,
and he's putting the pieces together. You're right.
yeah. So, yeah, that's our thoughts on Beauty and the Beast,
On Beauty and the
finally.
Beast. Yeah, right.
Now it's already on Blu-ray, and people
Pretty much.
found out there was a deleted scene with a chamber pot, which we're not going to address.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break and come right back at it. And we're back. And in sort of this let's catch up with all the Disney news episode, we're going to go into D23. Mm-hmm. Now, D23, it surprises me, not a lot of people know about it still.
I literally just found out about that.
Yeah.
This year. Like, I don't even know where I found out about it, but I had absolutely no idea it was a situation.
Yeah, I've been talking with my friends. I've known about it for like 2 or 3 years.
Oh.
It's still
Never heard of that.
a relatively new thing. So it's called D23, the official Disney fan club. That's like an organization. It's like a fan club thing you can sign up for. But what it's become more known for is the D23 Expo, which they've been doing since, I believe, 2009. The basic idea is, like, it's this huge event where Disney has, like, it's essentially Comic-Con for Disney. You know,
Right.
you have these big booths, you have expos, you show off
Panel discussions.
Yeah, panel discussions, props.
Yeah.
And more prudent for our discussion, they announce various projects, show off clips, essentially get you excited for the next couple years of Disney.
Right.
And this year, haunchy, there's a lot to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we are just gonna get right into it, talking about the animated lineup. They announced apparently a new Planes movie, Spaced. Do you care?
Planes. Oh, so is this like that movie in between Cars 1 and...
Yeah, that was like, I
Wait a
think
minute.
it's in the
it was
Cars
Cars
universe.
1, Cars 2, and then Planes, right?
Yeah. Like,
Does anybody care? Why are they wasting money on that?
they make money.
Did they, though? Did they make money?
I guess.
They could not have. That's a lie. They owe money for Planes. Like,
Yeah.
They did not make a damn thing on Planes. I can assure you of that.
It was I think it was #1 its opening weekend when it first came out.
Planes.
Yeah, it's Planes. And they did a second one where they literally more or less
There
just...
was a Planes too.
Yeah, it has
Why
nothing to
am
do
I
with the
not-
original. It's like, oh no, he had a severe injury. Now he can't fly in races anymore. So instead he's gonna be a firefighter?
I thought everyone just forgot about Planes with me. Like, I remember when the first one came out, but like I was pretty sure that no one gave a damn. Do you know what I mean?
I don't. I mean, I sure
I don't. Yeah.
But someone has to, right?
I guess someone must, because they're like, you know what? Let's make another one.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. We're gonna skip. Well, they talked about Frozen 2. Apparently,
Am I the only one that doesn't want that?
I don't want, like, I don't know. I'm very hesitant about doing any direct sequel to Disney animated, especially Princess.
Yeah.
Like, look, I know it
Didn't
made money.
we learn this from Pocahontas 2 and Mulan 2 and 3?
Ariel 2 and 3. Oh, God. Was there a third Mulan?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Please tell me. You're
Yeah,
joshing with me.
Like, didn't we learn our lesson that nobody wants that? That's gonna
I
go
guess
straight
the argument.
to DVD.
I guess the argument is, well, we got the original creative team back, so it's not
guess.
just going to be a hackneyed rush job to get money.
Right, yeah.
They showed off. Apparently, they're doing another Frozen short. See, that's what frustrates me. You can't do shorts and feature films. Pick one for your universe. Like, that's what I loved about Toy Story, which we'll be getting to.
Yeah.
Like, they did, after Toy Story 3, they did all these really great shorts.
Yeah.
They put a lot of effort
They were
into them.
awesome.
Yeah, not only are they great, but they're also this great compromise of, we want to keep these characters around, but we also don't want to sort of sully the ending of the last film.
Right.
Like, this is a perfect compromise of, we're going to get to show, you get to see all your favorites, but that sacrosanct third film gets protected.
Right, exactly.
And why don't they just do that with Frozen?
I don't know, because we can't have anything nice around here.
Yeah. We're going to skip over the big announcement, because I know we're going to want to talk about that for a while. Incredibles 2.
Incredibles 2. I am super excited. They better not ruin my life with this. But I don't think they will. Like, do you think they are capable of ruining it? But I mean, they've ruined things in the
Brad
past.
Bird. I trust, like, I am the biggest Brad Bird fan. Honestly, pound for pound, he's probably my favorite director and writer in Hollywood right now. If he thinks it's time to do this, then it's time to do this. And regardless of what happens, I'm kind of more excited that he's going to make a film that's going to make a lot of money.
Right.
Because he was sort of transitioning into live-action films, but he directed and co-wrote Tomorrowland, and that was kind of a bomb. So he's kind of in the doghouse where he needs to make something that makes a lot of money to get his sort of blank check status.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, you're going to make money no matter what. Make whatever you want and sell it to us.
I mean, Incredibles 1 had probably one of the best Disney soundtracks of all time.
Yeah, that's what's great about all of his films. They're all jazzy and fun.
Yeah, but I mean, like I really think the Incredibles soundtrack was like in a league of its own almost.
Yeah,
and
it's an incredible film.
Yeah, no pun intended.
I guess, like, in terms of announcements, it doesn't sound like they showed any footage yet.
Okay.
It was more they explained, it's going to take place right after the last one. Okay. The rumors about it being a big time jump have been squashed, which, to be honest, I'm kind of glad about. Yeah. Because in my head, if you have to jump like almost 10 to 15 years to find an interesting story, I guess my question would be, are these characters really that interesting?
Right. I've heard a lot about Jack.
Yeah, apparently, I don't know. Apparently they were talking, that's mostly what they talked about. Okay. Like, he's going to have a lot of, like, he's going to get a lot more to do now that we know he has powers.
Right, and we know what his power is.
Yeah.
With fire.
Fire, mostly.
Right, yeah.
And whatever the writer needs at the time.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some kind of running bit with him trying to get this squirrel or something, which I'm kind of like, yeah,
okay,
fine. I hope.
I mean, make that a short.
Yeah, I think they're gonna make him like the comedic B plot.
Yeah.
Like, you know how Cinderella, like, there was all those bits with the cat and mice.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be like that, which is like whatever.
Right.
The one thing that excites me though is it's apparently gonna be more centered on Elastigirl. Like, the first film was mostly about Mr. Incredible and his midlife crisis.
Right,
and
exactly.
just him trying to adapt to a world that he's not the center of anymore.
Yeah.
And that was cool. And I like that, but his story has been told. Yeah. He's grown up, he's developed, he's, he's still, there's still things he can learn and grow, but his central need has been addressed.
Right.
I want to see another character take the lead.
Right.
We need more female-led superhero movies, and this is going to be a big one. This and Wonder Woman, both of them, this is going to make money.
Right,
Look, let's just get that out of the way right now. Regardless of quality, we could end up both despising it.
Right,
but it's going to make money.
Everyone in our high school graduating class is going to be there.
You're going to get multiple generations of people scrambling to
waiting
see this.
for this, yeah.
And, the next time someone wants to make a female-led superhero movie, they're going to be able to kick down the door and say, we've had 2 in the last 10 years, and they both made ham over fist, and that's going to be pretty reassuring.
Why do you think there has been such a time gap, though? How many years has it been? Like, at least a decade?
Well, at least a decade. The way they're selling it, John Lasseter and Brad Bird were just like, we were just waiting for the right story. We were just waiting for the right, we were trying to think of the right story, and we finally found it. And I honestly think Brad Bird just wasn't interested. Like, he was ready to do new things with his career. He did Ratatouille, then he did Mission Impossible. I think he really wanted to move more into live action films. But now that that's sort of been stalled, I think he's getting ready more to, this is going back to his roots.
Right.
before anything else, he's talked forever about wanting to do a hand-drawn animated film.
Oh, okay.
And I think, I guess that's my worry. I'm worried that Brad Bird's heart might not be into it. I think for him, I just have that cynical feeling that this is a means to an end for him. This is, I need to do this so I can do what I actually want to do.
Okay.
I just hope, there's some love in it. And I don't know. I guess a part of it is Disney, Pixar's in a weird transitional period where it's like they're still working on a lot of their fresher ideas and trying to come up with new things. Mm-hmm. Maybe they just need some time to, they're doing a bunch of sequels. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're like, well, let's just get all of our sequels out of the way now and then get back to original ideas.
Yeah.
And then I think we mentioned this, Toy Story 4. Why?
I didn't ask for that.
No one asked for that. Apparently they didn't really show, any footage.
They don't have any footage. They're lying.
Yeah, I'm convinced this is an elaborate
this is
prank.
Fake.
I'm convinced this is a practical joke. They're going to be like, oh, we trolled you guys. Like, yeah, in the theater, it's just going to be like, it's going to be, gotcha. Apparently, there's, Josh Cooley is going to be directing, John Lasseter is going to be helping him. And I'm like, I don't know.
Stop ruining things I like.
Yeah, this is going to be an unpopular opinion. I'm not the hugest fan of John Lasseter right now. I think he's much better as, like, a producer than he is, like, a director / writer / like, work on an individual project guy. Because, yes, he directed Toy Story 1 and 2, but he also directed the Cars movies. Or Cars 2.
Oh, he directed Cars 2.
And, like, this guy owes a lot.
Who directed Cars 3?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Wasn't him.
No. Cars 3. It was Brian Fee. I don't know what else he did.
Oh.
Let me look him up. Director. He worked on Pocahontas 2, Journey to the New World as an animator. Director.
Dismissed. We don't need to know anymore.
He only has one directing credit. Other than that, he's just been working on as like an assistant. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently it's going to be a road trip movie. Do you care?
About Toy Story 4?
Yeah.
Road trip? Are we going to college with him?
No. I think they're like in an RV or something.
Where are we going?
I don't know.
Where we gotta go to?
Do you care? We're toys. Where do we have to go?
Where are we going?
Aren't all the films road trip films? Because they cover a lot of ground for toys.
Technically they are road trip. Them traveling, getting on a plane, getting in an airport. Yeah, almost being destroyed.
Yeah. I am excited, though, they showed off some more footage from Coco, which is their Day of the Dead movie, for lack of a better term.
Okay.
It's essentially about this kid who plays guitar, looks up to this old, like, Spanish telenovela hero guy who played guitar, and circumstances end up with him in the spirit world, and he's got to get out. And I'm like, yeah, I am so down to clown. The footage they've showed is cool. Mm-hmm. I love this little in-universe show they've made for this, he's like this broad-shouldered, like, guitar-playing hero. I think that's great. Visually it's beautiful. That's honestly the one Pixar film I'm genuinely excited for, with no caveats, no cynicism. I'm like, I want this. This is fresh. This is cool looking. This is unique. It's going to be emotional. I am down.
Right. I think, remind me to remind you that we need to have a discussion on, I don't know if I'm being heard.
Yeah, maybe.
Sorry, I'm going to adjust a little bit. We moved rooms. Sorry. We need to have, in the future, a discussion about Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, yeah, we need to address that.
There's so many things we need to adjust. Like,
indeed.
We hope to be doing this more consistently in the future,
now
that we have our poop in a group.
Indeed. There we go. That's a little better.
There we go. Okay, because I was like, you're making bigger lines than I am. I'm like, I need to be closer.
If it makes you feel any better, we were talking about Toy Story 4, and I don't think anyone cares.
Right, no one cares.
That's the one time we can phone it in.
Right, okay.
Because they sure as hell are.
Right.
You know what? That's unfair. A lot of hard people work at Pixar.
Right.
Like, I don't want to... See, I hate, like... I want to be critical of Disney, but I also hate being mean, because it's like, animation's really hard.
Right.
Like, it takes a lot of effort to make an animated film. But
that's funny.
Yeah, apparently they announced a new film, and I didn't hear about this till today. It doesn't have a title yet. They refer to it as Suburban Fantasy World. It takes place in a world where magic exists, but is kind of hard to do, so most people are just, like, you know, living in the modern day while there's, like,
With
magic
habits?
users going around.
Yeah.
So essentially the Ron Weasley house if there was, like, 20 of them.
Okay.
Which, you know, it sounds cute. I want
Yeah.
to see something actually from it before I judge.
Right.
But, you know, I'm game. And the last of the big animated films to talk about, and I wanted to save this for last because I know you have strong feelings.
Of course.
Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet, which I hate the title, but the idea has grown on me a lot.
It's grown on me a lot too, but when they first announced the title, I was like, it's a wrap, we're done.
Yeah,
I don't want
like,
to do this
we're
anymore.
packing
I
it in.
quit. No more. I don't want to do this anymore. And then I learned a little bit more about it.
Yeah, well...
And now I'm like, okay, I must.
Yeah, the basic premise is something goes wrong where they need to... The arcade, I guess, gets connected to the internet, and they have to go find a piece of Vanellope's game. And sort of the sales pit, like... And this is the part that interests me. They discuss... Apparently they have a tour guide in the internet who explains it's like, yeah, everything's very segregated and sort of regimented here, where, you know, everyone has their little community and they're kind of... they kind of stay there and don't interact, which I'm like, that's the most top, you know, relevant commentary on the internet we've had in a while.
Right.
And I do love this transition where they're like, yeah, but here's one place where there's a lot of inclusion and it's really broad, and it's ohmydisney.com.
Okay.
And I just think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, as someone who goes on that website a lot for just generic Disney news and, like, silly stuff, I think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
But that leads into sort of the big showy moment. Apparently, it's what stole D23. They go into Oh My Disney and meet pretty much all of the Disney princesses.
Right.
All of the canonized Disney princesses. So, yes, we are having a return of Snow White, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Rapunzel, Moana, Tiana, Elsa, Anna, Jasmine, Ariel, Belle, Pocahontas, and Merida, all with their original voice actors. Well, all the voice actors who are alive, I believe. Yeah. And
I'm not sure who's going to voice Snow White or Cinderella.
Yeah. Or if they'll have speaking parts.
They'll find it. Yeah, or if they'll even write speaking parts for them. Now, I am pumped.
Yeah.
Because I'm obviously... I'm a big princess person.
Yeah.
As a fan. And for me, like... For you, Carter, like you are more into looking at directors and, like, producers of things.
Yeah, I'm more into, like, the art side.
The casts are more important.
Yeah.
Specifically, like, I get really into voice actors. Like, I really follow their careers. So, to see all of them, like, standing on, like, the panel stage.
There's something, like goosebump inducing
right,
about that.
I know. I was like, oh my gosh, there they are. Like I fangirl over the people who voice all these characters more so than anything else.
And... I don't know, just something about seeing the idea that we're going to get more Tiana is really cool. Because pretty much every other princess has gotten, like, either a bad sequel, a TV spin-off, a short.
Right.
There's a new Tangled series for some reason. Elsa and Anna are getting a sequel. Like, this is going to be the first...
Would you be opposed to a Princess and the Frog sequel? I feel like I would be a gung-ho.
I'd be... If they could think of a good story.
Right.
Like, I feel like... I don't know. The ending is so perfect for those two.
It is,
I almost don't want to sully it.
Right, that's true.
But it's unfair that they didn't at least get, like, a short or, like, a cameo appearance.
Here's Naveen and Tiana again.
Yeah.
And I actually think there's plenty of room for a Moana sequel.
Yeah, I do. I think we discussed this outside the podcast.
We did.
Yeah. The fact that the film was very episodic and the implication is there's magic and adventures everywhere.
Right, yeah.
Serves it that they could do a lot more with Moana. Exactly. And I think they know that.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. Just the idea, of getting all these people back and seeing how emotional they get about getting to come back to these characters who made their careers in some way.
Exactly, and seeing Jodie Benson up there. Like, I just, like, they're, like, celebrities to me. I don't know, like, I'm obsessed with them.
Yeah, no, it hit me hard just seeing all of them together.
Yeah, right.
And, if there was one, like, I think they sat down and probably said, okay, what is one thing we can do that can get people sold on this idea. You know, people are kind of ripping it. People are rolling
their eyes.
Is Elsa
gonna be?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, she's one of the only ones that wasn't there.
Really?
Idina Menzel
maybe they'll
wasn't
only
there.
have Anna there.
I don't know. Yeah, Kristen Bell was there, but Idina Menzel wasn't.
Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe she won't be in it, because she's technically a queen. But they'll probably make references to her.
Yeah, I'm sure. Wait, I thought you said you saw her. I thought you said... not that you saw her. You said something about her wearing, like, a Nike shirt that said "Let It Go" or something.
Did I?
Yeah,
I don't remember saying that.
You said something about that. As if you had read that somewhere, that she would... Yeah, I swear I heard you say that. Unless I read it somewhere. I don't know. I don't remember. But I feel like I have... When I was looking this up, I did see something about Elsa having something... And, like, I remember reading something, or either you told me it, or I read it somewhere, that Elsa would be wearing, like, a t-shirt that would look like a Nike Just Do It, but it just says "Let It Go." Period.
Let me look that up. Wreck-It Ralph to Elsa.
Either you said that to me, or I read it somewhere.
Apparently, yeah, she's in it. They say they saw her in the footage, so I guess she is in it. You might have read that. I honestly don't remember saying that, but I may have
read that somewhere else.
Okay. But, yeah, so they're like, what is the one thing we can get everyone on board with?
Right.
Boom, let's do it.
Right.
So, yeah, that was the animated lineup. Honestly, you know, a couple interesting ideas, a couple cool things to get excited for. Wreck-It Ralph stole the show.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed we didn't get any stuff from Gigantic, the giant movie they're working on, based on Jack and the Beanstalk.
Oh.
It doesn't sound like we really got anything from that. Maybe I just missed it, but I haven't seen it anywhere.
Right.
Which is kind of funny. Yeah, and the other big topic we want to talk about, we agreed we weren't going to talk too much about Star Wars or Marvel, but we can talk about the live-action Disney-branded stuff.
Yes.
Which gives us a lot to talk about. Namely, Mary Poppins Returns.
Mary Poppins. I am so excited because Mary Poppins was one of the most important pieces of my childhood, of all Disney things. Like, there is a special Mary Poppins place. At least there's a special place for Julie Andrews.
Indeed.
Fingers crossed cameo.
Yeah, I feel like it would be impossible not to.
You can't. They need to. Dick Van Dyke is down for anything.
Yeah.
He'll show up anywhere. Yeah,
he's in it.
No way, is he?
Dick Van Dyke? Yeah.
I did not know that.
Apparently he's in it. They showed a clip of him, like, dancing on tables, and people are losing it.
Wait, what? And Dick Van Dyke back in the habit. Eventually, we're in a series of iconic images of the house, the kids, then a kite flying,
we are,
and Poppins silhouette.
In terms of getting all of our what was shown, we are skimming over a nice rundown from Birth, Movies, Death. And I've also read that there's a sequence which Dick Van Dyke dances, and that's really cool. Oh, he still
got it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean,
I am now very, very, very excited.
Yeah, and, Mary Poppins really is one of those things, kind of like the Peanuts or Calvin and Hobbes or Winnie the Pooh, like these really special kids properties that you have a commitment to making something extraordinary.
Right.
And based on what we've heard, it sounds like it will be. I want to wait till we get an official trailer, but I'm pretty excited. The cast, Emily Blunt and Colin Firth, I love them in anything they're in.
Exactly. And
getting Lin-Manuel Miranda, I know, I'm worrying he's going to get overexposed, but god dang, I'm just excited whenever he shows up.
Right.
He's also going to be in DuckTales now, too.
For real?
Yeah, he's going to be, like a auxiliary duck, the guy who makes robots. What's that duck?
I don't remember.
But, yeah, he's going to be in that, too. But he's going to be in this.
Weren't we about to talk about DuckTales? Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we'll probably have to save that for another day just because we got a lot to talk about. We have
so many ideas to get rolling out, but we will get them out.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, I think he's going for that Oscar again. He's going to get it one way or the other. Mm-hmm. La La Land, the La La Land crew can't get in his way every year.
Right.
Yeah, so that's going to be incredible. The little bits we've seen of, the costumes and stuff are all just gorgeous.
Right.
If anything else, it's going to be a visual wonder.
Yes.
And embarrassing secret, I've never watched the original all the way through.
Are you kidding?
I've seen Saving Mr. Banks all the way through, twice.
I think that's a really good movie.
Yeah,
Saving Mr.
I dig
Banks.
it. I dig it.
But really?
Yeah,
What?
It's one of those things you keep telling yourself, I gotta do this,
I'm gonna
and
do
then
it.
you don't.
There's a lot of things I haven't seen all the way through that, like, are... I can't think of any at the moment, but, like, there's plenty of things I haven't seen. I've never seen Titanic all the way through.
Same.
I've never seen a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I can go on forever. But as far as Disney stuff, like, remember Mary Poppins? Okay, so I have that on DVD, so one day we'll watch it.
Okay,
Because we need to do that. At least sometime before this new one comes out, because I feel like you need to understand the full thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. And other than that, we got Wrinkle in Time, which I guess technically isn't Disney, but I'm just excited. It's Ava DuVernay directing of Selma and 13. It's just 13, right? 13th?
The documentary?
Yeah.
13th.
Yeah, I keep wanting to say 13th State, and I'm like, that's not right at all.
No, 13th, yeah.
Yeah, it looks jaw-dropping visually.
Right.
I am so glad she's gotten a project with a lot of money behind it.
Yeah.
She was originally in talks to direct Black Panther, but apparently she had some disagreements with the studio.
Oh, okay.
But A, it's nice to see her and Disney were on good enough terms after that to be like, hey, well, do you want to direct this project?
Right.
And B, that now that she's made 2 huge films, like, critically, she's going to get to have a big, potentially... she's getting a big check to make something big and showy and awesome.
Right.
She's one of the most exciting young directors around, and she's going to get to remind us why.
Right.
Let's see. Apparently Disney is making a Nutcracker film called Nutcracker and the Four Realms.
I'm already bored.
Yeah, that's all I bothered to look up about it. Helen Mirren's in it. So, and... Morgan Freeman, Karen Millen, and Keira Knightley. And Richard E. Grant. So, hey, yeah, I guess, it's going to have good pedigree behind it.
Okay.
And then we get into sort of big guns, the live-action animated remakes.
Right.
What's shocking is 2018, originally, Mulan was supposed to come out this year. Or, was supposed to come out in 2018.
Okay.
But they actually had to push it back. 2018, it looks like it's going to be the only year we don't have a live-action remake.
Oh, wow.
Because Dumbo is still in early production.
Yeah.
Mulan hasn't even cast yet.
Yeah.
And Aladdin only just got its cast.
Right.
But, those are the 3 big ones, 3 of the big ones they were talking about. Mulan, they just Mulan... Did I just combine Moana and Mulan?
You said Mulana.
That would be a great film. It would be.
Oh my God, that's funny.
I got Moana on the brain. Mulan, they just confirmed, yes, it's coming out. Mm-hmm. Aladdin, they announced the trio is going to be Mena Massoud and Naomi Scott as Aladdin and Jasmine, respectively. Mm-hmm. I am not familiar with anything Mena's been in, but... No. I do know Naomi Scott. She was in Lemonade Mouth. Do you remember Lemonade Mouth at all?
I remember I didn't want to watch it.
Indeed. But she was also the Pink Power Ranger in the latest Mighty Morphin Power Rangers film. Which, I'm a little disappointed because they said they wanted to get 2 complete no-names. And I'm like, Power Rangers and a Disney star are 2 pretty big titles.
2 super known, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the hugest thing, but it's still pretty big.
Pretty relevant.
But, she's a good actress. I'm just happy that, A, they've got people. B, they seem to have, the skills needed to pay the bills.
Right.
And C, that they didn't whitewash the cast.
Right.
Because I know that shouldn't be the bar we're trying to cross over, but it still is.
But it is,
so
yeah.
Thank God. And also...
How do you feel about Will Smith?
Honestly, who else were they going to pick?
I don't know.
Other than maybe Jack Black? Like, they can't do The Rock again. He's in too much stuff now. They can't put The Rock in everything. Mm-mm. And because that would be confusing that it's like, wait, Maui's also Genie?
I think because we haven't seen Will Smith do anything too funny in a long time. Which is like, it's making me hard. It's making it difficult for me to...
Suicide Squad, I guess, but that wasn't specifically a comedy.
Exactly. Like, we haven't seen anything too humor. Everything has been, like, action, aliens, bad boys. Like, stuff like that. It's
action or bad dramas.
Right, exactly. Bad dramas.
What was that one where it's, like, death and time are talking to him? I saw an early screening
that you hated
it.
Yeah. But
I don't
mean,
want to get into that because I could talk about that for an hour.
Like, since Fresh Prince, I don't remember the last humorous. And that movie Hitched with Kevin James.
Yeah.
Like, but, like, we haven't seen him play, like, a Fresh Prince-esque character.
Yeah.
Or anything, like, because, like, I'm comparing it to Fresh Prince because it was the only character as large as Genie.
Yeah. I mean, for Genie, like, above all, you need... Well, apparently, originally, they were talking about taking unused audio recordings of Robin Williams and just doing that. But apparently, in his will, before he tragically passed away, he made a specific point to bar Disney from getting access to those.
Right.
So they can't use them.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to admit, you know, it's a fine casting because, like, there's very few people who can match Robin Williams for sheer charisma and charm, and Will Smith's career has been defined by being one of the most charming, charismatic people on the entire planet.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's fine. I'm just worried what they're going to do with Jafar, honestly.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there was rumors that the director is Guy Ritchie, famously... I guess most topically, you would know him from the Sherlock Holmes live-action films.
Yeah.
Those sort of steampunky, gritty ones.
Right.
He has his moments. He's a decent director. I get why they picked him, because he's known for doing sort of gritty, dirty films about, like, people who live in the streets and street gangs.
Yeah.
And literally, Aladdin is described throughout the entire film as a street rat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get the logic. I'm just not sure. And he just did King Arthur, which bombed. Mm-hmm. Credit to them for sticking to the plan.
Right. All I know is, you know, we have a little bit of information on Aladdin, but they better not ruin Mulan.
Yeah, I'm just waiting.
They better get this right. There are almost no excuses for this. They better hire all Asian people and one black person. That's all we need.
Yeah. If you want to get Eddie Murphy... Or specifically Eddie Murphy. Or if you can't... Is there someone we're willing to substitute for Eddie Murphy if we can't get him? Is there another black male comedian? Or, you know what, or female? Who said Mushu has to be a guy?
Oh my god, Leslie Jones.
Okay, you know what? That would be pretty funny. Yeah, either Eddie Murphy, and if you can't get Eddie Murphy, Leslie Jones. And if you can't get her, then no one.
Then no one at all.
Yeah,
eliminate the character. He doesn't need him.
Yeah. They have a director. I don't remember. I know they have a director. Mulan, Disney.
But I want to see the most Asian people in here. Come on.
Yeah.
Like they can't be like sort of Asian looking white people. They need to be all up in there. They need to be Asian people.
Well, and we discussed this where we were talking about. We had this hope that we had this hope. With this one, you have a chance with the love interest. Like, because, you know, we talked about there's a stereotype of, like, Asian men aren't necessarily sexy. They're not given a chance to be sexualized by the media. Yeah.
Right, that's true.
And this is a golden opportunity.
I can think of so many sexy Asian men. So, like, there are no excuses. I don't want to hear it. Like, come on, do this right. Do it right.
Yeah. And the director is Nikki Caro. Mm-hmm. I'm not familiar with her work. One thing she said was interesting was someone asked her if there was going to be music. And she talked about the idea that the original tales of Mulan were these ballads, you know, these, like, song poems.
Yeah.
And she's talking about a way they could figure out how to incorporate that. Mm-hmm. And that idea really excites me. Right. In terms of thinking of fresh ways to approach the material, that would be really exciting.
Right.
Let's see, what did she work on? She was the director of The Zookeeper's Wife, which recently came out. I didn't see McFarland USA, which was another Disney film, which is probably... one of the big reasons they looked at her. Because, I mean, say what you want about Disney. They know how to curate talent.
Yeah.
So, you know what? If they saw her work there and decided she would be a good approach to this. Right. And also, again, female director getting $100 million to make a big budget movie that's going to make money no matter what.
Right. Yes.
Please.
We're here
more
for
of those. Enough Colin Trevorrows. More Nickies.
But I'm hoping they pull actors that we've never seen before. Because
I hope they do the same thing. We have
this little group of Asian actors that we just love to use over and over again.
Yeah.
And, like, I want to see actors we have never seen before
like,
come to the front.
I know George Takei would be excited to be in this, but let's be like, hey, buddy, we're going to try something new
here.
Maybe
he could be an ancestor.
Yeah.
That's like Mushu. Like one of those,
Yeah. Like, I know there's a lot of... I want to see... We need to increase that pool of, like, iconic Asian American
Yes,
Hollywood actors.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Dumbo, they've been working on that for forever. Not Johnny Depp, Jesus Christmas. Tim Burton is directing it, which gets me excited, because I'm like, if someone could do, like, a weird sort of carnival theme, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Apparently it's more going to be centered around this family interacting with Dumbo, which is like, all right. I mean, I'm just excited, because I think they could do a lot of weird stuff with that.
Yeah, they could.
Apparently they showed off some concept art of what they want Dumbo to look like, but they haven't released that to the public, so we don't know.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm curious.
Do you think they'll try to incorporate crows?
I don't want to touch that one with a 20-foot pole, honestly.
No?
And I don't think Disney wants to either.
You know what's weird? It's like, there is something obviously it's something racist about the crows, and yet I want to see them.
Yeah. They're in this weird middle ground where they're very, they're stereotypes. There's no getting, we can't beat around the bush on that. They're stereotypes, they're caricatures, and...
They're Disney's blackface.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it.
Right.
And yet, at the same time, they're iconic characters who, like,
and they ain't hurting nobody how. Yeah, they're really not doing any harm. They're just funny. Like, well, at least they're supposed to be
likable.
Funny. Right. Yeah, at least they're supposed to be funny, and they're supposed to be kind of unintelligent.
Yeah.
But
like, they don't.
And yet I want them. Again. Yeah. I want them back.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, and obviously you're much better, like, usually in terms of these kinds of topics, I defer to you because I am a white person who never has to worry about the consequences of race.
Right.
But, yeah, no, I'm kind of in the same ground where I'm like, yes, they captured the very worst verbal stereotypes of how we depict African Americans in terms of speech patterns.
Yes.
But at the same time, I don't know.
But I feel like, it was like, they were created to mock black people, but I feel like they encapture what we enjoy the most about ourselves.
Yeah.
In a way that, like,
it's that sense of taking back
these smooth
things.
Talking, like, we can come up with a rhyme, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think about the way, like, hip hop was created, and it was off of the fact that, like, black people are kind of smooth, like, you know what, like, and they, like, there's something cool
maybe in a sort
about
of way
these crows. Like,
in a way it's kind of like the blaxploitation genre where it's like white people have made these caricatures of us, but what if we take them and like embrace them and make them iconic and like heroic. Exactly. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I hope they figure out a way to do it and that doesn't push it. Right. Like, don't make them worse. Right, exactly. Like, if what they're like now is the bar you set, be under that bar in terms of, like, offensive material. Right. I think that's a fair compromise. I don't know why in my mind, like, I'm comparing them to the, what are they called? The vultures and, Jungle Book. I don't know why. The Beatles, and then these crows. I don't know why. Like, is there a middle ground? I don't know. The thing is, I don't know, but there's people at Disney right now being paid literal millions of dollars to figure that out for us. Right. And then we can come back and discuss whether or not they did their job right. Right, exactly. Yeah. And then, let's see, we covered Aladdin, Mulan. Oh, and the other one they showed, apparently they showed some footage of The Lion King. Okay. So when they say live action, they actually mean it's going to be all CGI, which I have complicated feelings about. Yeah. And apparently what they showed was virtually a shot-for-shot remake. Like, literally, you could put them back to back, and they would be the same, of the Circle of Life sequence. Okay, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Yeah? Because, A, I'm like, again, I don't want us to just do the same thing over and over and over again. Okay. And B, I am also like, wait, it's not live action. You're lying. It's CGI. Yeah. Like, I was hoping it would be like, they try to do live locations and then digitally add the animals. Right. And I know that would have been impossible. I know. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know. Just CGI doesn't get me that excited. Okay. As good as Jungle Book looked. Right, I'm like, that was still cool because there was a kid playing off everything. Right, yeah. I don't know. God, I mean, it'll be cool. It's got a great voice cast so far. Mm-hmm. they just announced Hugh Jackman is going to be Scar.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, which is interesting because I would have thought they would have just gotten Jeremy Irons again because they brought back oh my god, how am I blanking on his name? The guy who plays oh my god, I'm blanking on everyone's name. Hold on.
Okay.
Lion King. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed right now. Like, this guy's a very big actor, and I'm blanking on his name. James Earl Jones as Mufasa.
Oh my god, you couldn't think of that name?
I know, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed.
I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
I am
James
humiliated.
Earl Jones. Okay.
I'm humiliated.
Wait, okay, so they're bringing him back?
Yeah, he's back.
Okay.
Timon and Pumbaa are going to be Seth Rogen and somebody else whose name... I'm not as familiar with his work, but I've been told he is very funny. Video game, CGI remake. Yeah, Billy Eichner? Yeah. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not familiar with his work, but apparently he works with Seth a lot, and apparently he's very funny. Okay. So that'll be good. Donald Glover Simba, which is like a lot of, the more Donald Glover, the better. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
And John Oliver will be Zazu, which... If you could think of a put-upon British man to be Zazu, that's one of them.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Also failing to micromanage, You know right. What? Thinking back to our last episode when we were talking about who was more useless, Sebastian or Zazu, I think I have to go Zazu, because people died, Zazu. People died.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't do your job.
Yeah, they died.
Yeah, like...
I forgot about
entire monarchies were toppled because of your shit, Zazu.
True. I guess I'm still mad at Sebastian because, like I said, he threw a concert and his soloist didn't show up.
That's more embarrassing. But people died because of you, Zazu.
You're incompetent, like Sebastian.
There's blood on your hands.
You can't control a 16-year-old girl. Whatever. Okay.
Yeah,
that's
but
fine.
we've litigated that debate
as
much as we can. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I know I'll end up liking it, but I have some caveats. Mm-hmm. And that pretty much covers all their live action stuff. So we have 4 big ones on the horizon that are coming 2019 to 2020. Mm-hmm. It's going to be the first year next year that we don't really have a live action remake, and that kind of bums me out. I'm not going to lie. I kind of like this yearly tradition of like early spring getting to see one of these.
Yeah, right.
Like, I know a lot of people are down on them. I know a lot of people think they're what's wrong with Hollywood, but there is something magical about them, and getting excited for that's fun.
Right, yeah.
All right, so we're gonna...
maybe that'll make them even more special when they do come out,
Yeah. So that was D23. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, most of the news was Marvel and Star Wars related, but, we got some cool announcements, some things to get excited for.
Yeah.
It does its job. It gets me hyped as hell. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I am totally pumped.
All right, so we're going to take a brief break and come back to you. All right, and that's going to wrap it up for the second episode of the Disney Desk.
Right.
It feels pretty good to be back.
Yeah, this is fun. Yeah, I forgot that we're actually pretty good at this.
Yeah, I think
so.
I think we're the Beatles of podcasts, frankly.
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to spend your summer, but I can't think of too many better ones than talking Disney with my buddy.
Pretty much, exactly. I mean, this is what we would be doing anyway. We just decided to set up a microphone and record it.
And get a SoundCloud account.
Exactly.
All right. So hopefully we'll be back soon with another episode. We got some big topics to talk about, some groundbreaking revelations to get you hyped up.
Right.
But until then, I'm Carter.
And I'm Sydney.
And this was the Disney Desk.
Thank you.
Have a great day.